Back with another episode of Local Roots and a brand new week. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. Hope your weekend was great, and mine pretty good, although a bit warm. I didn't really get outside too much. I've got plans this week to get over to the Iowa State Fair. Looking forward to that trip on Wednesday. Turned out that somehow I managed to go on Older Iowans Day. I'm not sure how that happened. School is going to be starting very, very soon all across the region. And there's a few changes at some of the area schools. And in fact, there's a change in just about every area school that has girls tennis. You know, the girls tennis is playing in the fall now. So that's one of the topics that we are going to be discussing with area activities directors. And we'll be checking in and out with the school activities directors all across the region over the next week or so. And today we're going to kick things off with Jeff Bisson at Glenwood Schools, talking with them about the football team, about the other fall sports that are going on, about how tennis and volleyball now are competing for the same athletes. We'll discuss that and a lot of other things that are happening at Glenwood, a lot of exciting things. And I'm looking forward to having that conversation. Also, I'm excited that Castle & Associates of American Family Insurance is one of the great sponsors here on Local Roots. They are your local insurance provider for all of your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs. And you're going to find them in Trainer. You'll find the offices in Council Bluffs and across the river in Bellevue and in Elkhorn. That means they're local and ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis and his team educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherish most. Give them a call for your free quote. We're going to have Travis back on the show again very, very soon. He always has great updates on what's happening in the world of insurance. Do you or does someone you love need in-home care? Home Care Advocacy Network helps you maintain your own privacy in your own space while still receiving care and support with a personalized touch. Aging in place can be critical for many people. Home Care Advocacy Network can meet those needs with an understanding that assisted living is best at home. Check them out online, hcan.com/Southwest Iowa to learn more. We continue with our highlight of area schools, talking about the fall season that's coming up, and activity director at Glenwood is Jeff Bisson. Thank you, sir, for your time. Grateful to have you on the program, and also I'm sure that you're excited to be getting into the fall season with a brand new school year.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Hard to believe another summer has come and gone for the most part, and starting on Monday, we're back at it with fall sports rolling with the first day of practice.
Yeah, everything is getting going again. And talk a little bit about the summer season first with baseball and softball. What was that like for Glenwood?
Yeah, our softball team had only 2 seniors out, but 2 veteran seniors, so they kind of led the way there. I think we were just under 500, but found a way to get to that district final matchup and lost to a state qualifying team in DCG who's pretty good. But had a pretty good group of kids. First year coach Ellie Roenfeld took the helm this year and did a good job with our kids, and looking forward to what we can continue to build on moving forward from a softball standpoint. Baseball, we only had 1 senior out, so super young, inexperienced group that maybe had some bumps in the road early on in the year, but was playing their best baseball late in the year. We had lost to Denison early on in the year, probably got 10 run, maybe both games, and found a way to beat them in the postseason. And then really had a 2-1 ball game with Heelan before maybe an error in the bottom of the 6th, and ended up losing 5-1. They went on to be a semifinalist at the state tournament. So looking forward to what we have coming up moving forward in the next couple of years with all the young kids we played here this past summer.
And that type of thing, too, because often it's multi-sport athletes. So when they start to see some success, just like you had talked about towards the end of the season, they can see, oh, we listen to the coaches. We do all of the hard work going through. Then we get the payoff as the deeper we get into the year. That mentality can stick even past just one specific sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk a lot about the multi-sport kid, student athlete down here. We have to have them. We got 550 kids in our building. And we need every single kid to be out for every single thing that they want to be a part of. Society kind of tells you now to specialize and maybe focus on only 1 or 2. And we're hoping to emphasize and promote the 3-4 sport kid. And we've had a few of those be really successful over the last few years. So continue to highlight those kids, obviously showcasing what they can do. But you said it, once you have success in one, it helps you going into 2, 3, and 4. And we try to tell our kids, you might be the best kid on the softball team and a role player in basketball, but your experiences as the best player in softball helps us on the basketball court because of the role you play, your leadership, and all the things that come with it. And if you're fortunate enough to go on and play at the college level, you've been coached by a lot of different people, which helps you deal with the magnitude of playing at that highest level in college and the different coaching styles and everything that goes with it. So yeah, we firmly believe in the multi-sport athlete. We're promoting it every single day, and we just got to continue to get kids to buy in and parents somewhat to buy in to try to make our kids and our programs the best they can be by having kids be involved with everything.
Right, and that's a really good point that you're making there, Jeff, because that is a recent switch. It wasn't that long ago that everybody was encouraged to be involved all year long in multiple sports for no other reason than it keeps you sharp and it keeps your physical condition up. And that focusing just on one thing, I'm not convinced that is actually the highest benefit and the way to go. Now, for some elite athletes that are, okay, maybe somebody's going D1 in wrestling or something like that. I can start to see it there. But for the vast majority, it's a benefit to be involved all year long.
Right. Yeah. 1% of the kids go on to compete at a high level in college and then become professional athletes. I mean, those kids, you could probably tell you right now who those kids maybe are going to be. But for the rest of us, for the rest of the 99%, we need to be involved in a lot of different things. And I think it just helps your body recover and rest. And you're not, say you're a volleyball player, you're not swinging with the same arm momentum and same swing year round. So you're giving your body a chance to rest. If you're taking 2-3 weeks off, you're taking a couple months off, all those things. So we think, and we try to tell kids, we think it'll help you down the road. A lot of those college coaches believe in that multi-sport athlete as well. So yeah, it's just trying to reiterate that to the kids and parents and continuing to promote it. And when you have kids that go be 4 or 5 sport athletes, I think that helps kids see that and say, I want to be a part of that, or I want to be like that kid. And so we're trying to make sure we highlight those kids who do it because it seems to be more of a rarity moving forward. When I played 20 years ago, I mean, there was one Southwest Iowa select basketball team AAU-wise. Now there's 5, 10, 15, 20 different options. And so it sounds bad, but if you have money and you want to go play, they'll find a team for you to play on. Whereas 20 years ago, it was more, hey, we took the best of the best and that was it. And now there's a lot more opportunities. So hard part is if you want to play soccer year round, you can do it. There's someone out there that's running a club or having a business that's taking advantage of that. But yeah, we're still trying to promote that interscholastic activity sport through our school and trying to make that the best they can be and make sure our kids are highlighted the best that they can be as well.
Moving now into the fall season. Always exciting when you're kicking off a brand new season in multiple sports all across. So what's the atmosphere like now in town and at the school with practice getting ready to get started again?
Yeah, it's been a really good summer for our kids. They're putting a lot of time in the weight room and their open gyms and all the extra things we've been providing for them, I guess, in terms of opportunities to get better. And so there's a lot of excitement about anytime the new year is rolling over. One thing new to all of us now is with girls tennis moving to the fall. So they actually started practice here on Monday, and they can start playing as early as today, as crazy as that sounds. So that's different for all of us in terms of how we're managing yet another sport in the fall. And then also the overlap, if you have that with maybe some volleyball cross country players that have always played tennis, now it's dual sport athletes here in the fall, which we're small enough to where we allow those kids to do that. There are some conflicts we work through. But yeah, we got 18 kids out and 6 seniors, and we got a new coach who's coached the boys now moving over and coaching the girls here in the fall. So that's new for all of us. I think football gets a lot of attention maybe with the fall, with it starting out how big it is and all the people that are involved. And the one thing I'll say about that is it seems like if your football team can be successful right out of the gate, your school year usually starts off on a really positive note as well. And so there is, I feel, a direct correlation to kids, activities, schools when your teams are maybe competing at a high level or maybe winning more than they're losing. And so we're excited about where we're at from a football standpoint. We had a smaller senior class last year, so we played a lot of sophomores and juniors. So all those kids have had a lot of opportunities to compete, and we're excited about where we go moving forward. I mean, we have Sergeant Bluff and Harlan in our non-district schedule, and then we get Lewis Central and ADM in our district schedule. So we got 4 ranked teams on our schedule of the 9 games we get. But it's a fun opportunity and a chance to compete against really high level, and I think we're up for the challenge from a football standpoint. Volleyball returns, only 50% of the people that maybe scored points last year for us, but coming off a Hawkeye 10 championship, coming off a state tournament berth, and excited about the kids we got coming back, excited about some newcomers coming in and having the opportunity to have a chance to showcase what they got. I think the Hawkeye 10 is one of the best volleyball conferences around, top to bottom, just because you're from 1A all the way to 4A, and any given year we've had 1, 2, 3, and 4A be represented at the state tournament. So certainly it'll be a challenging schedule for our girls, but looking forward to that. I got a new coach. We got a new coach in Jen Schneider taking over the helm there. So looking forward to what she can do with our girls and moving forward. Boys and girls cross country will kick off here shortly as well. Our girls, the senior class is looking to go 4 straight from a Hawkeye 10 conference championship. So they're excited about trying to defend what they've been able to do, but also not only win a conference championship again, but also compete at a higher level once they get to the state meet. They were disappointed with how things played out last year once they got there, and so that's their big challenge, long-term goal, I guess. But early on is just continuing trying to get better and put in miles and compete at the highest level they can. Our boys cross-country teams may be a little inexperienced and younger than we have in the past, but they're excited to get going here next Monday when the season kicks off well. And the greatest part of my job, I guess, to sit back and to watch and see kids that they might not know where they're at starting in August, but by October, they've kind of identified where they're at as a student athlete, and they're doing things maybe they didn't think they could do. And so to see that success factor and to challenge yourself as a student athlete is enjoyable for me, to just sit back and watch these kids grow and learn, maybe hit some adversity, figure it out, and then peak at the end and see if they can't continue to have PRs, and those who can get to the state meet, conference meet, and all those things, that's icing on the cake. But I can only be so good, right? And so my talent level only takes me so high. But exceeding and PRing in everything we do is obviously the goal, right? Trying to be 1% better than what we were yesterday. If we can do that as a program and as a school and as a district, I think success will follow, and we'll be happy with what we got. So, sorry, I rambled through all those.
No, you're not rambling at all.
All those fall sports there. The one last thing I'll mention is our high school band program. We got 136 kids right now at band camp, and so
that's impressive.
We got a few kids that do the sports scene as well as do the band in the fall. I think we've had 34 out of the last 35 years of Division I rating at the state marching band contest. So just a high level that they compete at, practice at. I mean, when I watch them this week, it's kind of mass chaos out there, as they're trying to figure out 136 people, where they're going, where they're marching, where they're starting. But to see that come together by mid-September and then late October when they're competing at that state meet is, I know if you've never seen it, we just always see the end product, right? When we watch on Friday nights or we watch at the state thing, but to see it from day one, the middle, and at the end is pretty impressive work. I've always been on the sports side of it, so to see it on the fine arts and to see how it all comes together is very impressive. We got a great band director, Mr. Clark, and Mr. Hart, and Miss Griffin does a great job with all our people. So we're just excited to kind of kick things off as we started girls tennis this week, and then everything else kind of kicks off officially next Monday.
Well, I wanted to ask you a question that as we're doing these previews and I'm talking to different ADs around the region, I've asked this question before, and I wanted to get your opinion about this, that when you have young people graduating and leaving your programs, and typically those are your leaders that are leaving, and then you have the next class coming in that is going to be taking that place. From your vantage point and your position, how often do you see that someone is going to fill that role versus someone steps in and maybe you're a little bit surprised, oh, I didn't know that, and now you're seeing them achieve maybe more than even they thought they could?
Yeah, well, I think that's the goal in terms of what we do as educators, right? Of trying to prepare kids for whatever's next, whether you're a freshman trying to get to your sophomore year, whether you're a sophomore trying to be a starter, whether you're a co-captain trying to be the biggest leader you got, whatever that is. And so we've had really good kids come and go and leave. But the nice thing is, if we're doing things right, we're teaching, we're molding, we're role modeling all that stuff to these younger kids. So as the good ones leave, the next come through and do that. And so if our coaches and our sponsors and our kids can, talk leadership and show leadership and model all those things, then hopefully the kids coming behind it see that. And I guess that defines what your culture really is, which is why culture is probably such a big buzzword in the world right now and with all our programs. But it truly defines what you're doing. And so, what you allow, they say, is what you promote, right? And so we want to make sure if we're allowing something we want to make sure we're not allowing something that's inappropriate or not the way we want to be leading and doing that. And so we're always trying to promote the positivity of things, the doing things the right way. And if we want to win with class, we want to lose with class, all those things that go with it. But yeah, back to your question. I mean, good kids are going to come and go, but it's up to us as leaders to make sure we're always having the next group ready to go. And Coach Foss with our football program and our student athletes has done a leadership class the last couple of years. And it's like, hey, you can teach it and you can talk it, but now it's up to the kids to go out there and do it. And so that's the greatest practice that we're trying to have kids be plugged into is, we talked it, but now how do you go do it? And we need more of those people in our world, obviously, to continue to be great leaders and great husbands, great wives, great in the fields that they choose to go into.
That's an excellent point, that what you are teaching is not strictly wins and losses. You're teaching life skills, and we can get caught up in the, how many W's do we have in the column, but ultimately what measures your success is what do these young people then become as adults. And over again, I see going through sports programs, going through the arts programs, going through, show choir or chorus or any of these things when they're involved with that, I see them then become very successful adults because they've learned so many of the bases right at the beginning at the school level, like right there in Glenwood.
Right. Yeah, and I think I probably failed maybe as a young administrator and a young coach just because you want to be so successful in all that you're doing. And even coaching my kids with youth sports, right? You want to win, you want to compete, you want to do all that. But at the end of the day, like, what are we truly teaching our people? Like I said, 1% are going to move on to play college and be professional athletes. And a lot of those kids I'm working with aren't going to be that, right? But they are going to hopefully move on to have families, be involved in jobs, either be a boss or work under a boss, right? And so we got to make sure we're teaching the right things that go with that. How do you shake someone's hand? How do you have a conversation with someone?
Right.
Do you hold the door for someone who's come behind you? Do you pick something up off the ground? I mean, all the things that we were probably taught, we got to make sure we're continuing to teach the kids that are coming up behind us to continue to make our world a better place. We want to win, and those transactional coaches, but at the end of the day, you really want those transformational coaches that you can say 10 years from now, I want to go back and see this person because he did this for me or she did this for me, and really made a lasting impact on me. We think back of when we played, like, can you remember certain game scores, how you did? Probably not, but you remember that coach or what he said when things weren't going well, or you remember what the coach said at the end of the year, or the motivation, or anything like that really hits home, rather than remembering that you were 13-4 in whatever sport you were, or whatever that is, So that's the biggest challenge I think we have as educators, and working with coaches and sponsors in the AD role, is to make sure we don't lose sight of maybe what the outside influences really cares about, and that's the transactional piece. We got to have the transformational piece that goes with it, because we have such a big job of impacting the future of society and our kids moving forward.
It's been things that I've witnessed, though, that if you take care of those things and you're taking care of all of those just things you talked about, the wins take care of themselves.
Right.
You don't have to focus on that, because that is the result of the work. It's not because, of everything that we've done this to get the W. No, we've done this to grow, successful men and women, and the W's just come along with it.
Right.
Well, what's the, you talked about the next generation coming in. So obviously you got 8th graders coming into high school, and they're all looking now at the upperclassmen. Okay, how does this, how do we fit into here? So what's that transition like at Glenwood?
Yeah, so our coaches go down. Our coaches are involved, being in somewhat of a small town, 5,500 people, and having 550 kids at the high school. Our coaches are involved with the youth sports and the youth activities and everything coming up. So we're aware of who's coming, who's doing what right now. So it's not a foreign thing as they come to us and we don't know who they are, right? So that certainly helps. But we get our coaches over to the middle school in the spring to make sure they're aware of all the things that are happening in the summer. And we try to get them plugged in as soon as we can in the summer with the weightlifting stuff, the speed and agility stuff, all the open gyms. So come when their season rolls around, they're aware maybe of the tempo of a practice, and they're aware of who they're working with and who the coaches are and who their teammates are and all those things. And so, like I said, it is fun to see the growth from 8th graders coming in. Some are ready to go and some maybe not. Some maybe haven't hit that growth spurt yet and they're not there yet, but they continue to work and continue to challenge themselves. And some, that light bulb doesn't go on until later. And so, that's probably the greatest benefit and joy of coaching, is to see that when that light bulb happens, it's like they get it, right? And now they've grown a little bit, and now you see this huge level of success for the kid that maybe hasn't had it, just because they're a little different athlete, or the work ethic piece kicked in, or whatever that looks like. And so, yeah, the transition's always interesting. And I try to tell parents, like, hey, it's normal for 14-year-old freshmen to play freshman activities. That's actually normal. And if they're playing varsity sports, one, they're really good, or two, we're not very good. And so we got to be careful there. And even as a sophomore, it's okay to play JV sports. It's not, you don't need to quit because you're not playing varsity as a sophomore. That's normal if you have a good program. And so continue to not lose sight of that, because we live in a world that seems like we want instant gratification all the time. And sports and activities don't always provide that, but they provide a lot of lifelong lesson and skills that you will have if you will just continue to commit to that process. And so, I don't know, I've talked a lot of culture stuff and I just keep going back to that, but I think that's where we're at. And we got to continue to do that as educators and coaches and sponsors with our kids, because sometimes we're being easily influenced on the outside by other things. But in reality, here's where we're at. We're dealing with a 14-year-old kid going up against 17 and 18-year-olds. It's not always an evil or an even level playing field all the time as kids go from 8th to 9th, 9th to 10th, 11th, 12th, and so forth.
Yeah, I'm a fan of a number of different podcasts. I listen to business podcasts mostly, but it applies to a lot of different things in your line of work too. And one of them is that I hear over and over: you want to be successful, increase your fail rate, because that's where I learn. If I succeed at something and if I win something, I didn't learn anything because I already knew how to do it. So that is just a result of that. But if I want to grow and learn, typically some uncomfortableness is involved with that. And so it's not something to avoid. It's not something to turn your back on and say, oh, this is the worst thing that happened. No, this can be the best thing moving forward. Best lesson I ever learned was a race that I lost when I used to run the mile when I was a freshman. got caught at the line. It lost by 0.2 of a second. To this day, I haven't forgotten that lesson.
Right.
Those are the things that stick.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And it's, there's life lessons being taught all the time. And for coaches, like if I'm going to be critical of someone, I got to have that relationship with that kid. And so the kid feels it is a learning moment versus I don't like you as a coach, as a player. Right. And so step number one is that relationship building. Step number two then is, okay, we can get into trying to be critical and things we can work on if I have that relationship to where I'll believe and I'll trust what you're telling me so I can see that growth moving forward. A lot of us don't like feedback when it's negative, but feedback is actually a really good thing when I feel you have trust from the person giving the feedback, right? We don't like our bosses when they're critical of us if we don't like our boss in general, right? But if we like our boss and our boss tries to motivate and give feedback, I'll probably listen to it because I enjoy what my boss is telling me. I just got to be better in what I'm doing, right? And motivating accordingly. So yeah, that's a really good point.
He is Jeff Bisson, and he is the activities director at Glenwood High School. Appreciate your time, sir, and looking forward to successful, whatever success looks like. We're looking forward to seeing that again at Glenwood, and good luck. And as I always say, sportscasting or otherwise, just keep everybody healthy. That's the goal.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for what you're doing to promote high school athletics and recognize a lot of the Southwest Iowa schools around.
Lining up all of the area schools to hear updates on what's happening there and, across Mills County and Pottawatomie County and reaching out a little bit further as well. And we're doing the same on the other show on Morning Coffee, catching all of the Council Bluffs schools. If you happen to miss it, last Friday, we had TJ, Activities Director Luke Peterson was on. And on today's show, we have Jeff Novotny from Abraham Lincoln High School. So I encourage you to support your area schools, support your hometown teams, get out. Football, of course, as we talked about with Coach Beeson, that's the flagship. But still, there's a lot of other fall sports going on that deserve your support too, because these kids are pouring their hearts and souls into this to represent their schools the best that they can. So good luck to all the area athletes, and everybody stay healthy, huh? That's what the biggest thing that we're after. If you need precision metal fabrication done right, look no further than Foxco Fabrication. Custom welding to large-scale manufacturing, bringing your ideas to life with expert craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. Could be industrial, commercial, or custom fabrication. See some of their projects that they've already completed, including some marketing ideas that they may have for you, creating signs and cup etchings, maybe some metal business cards. FoxcoFab.com is their website. A leak, a clogged drain, or a big remodel is all right in the wheelhouse of Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs. Fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship. They can do everything, small repairs to major installations. If you follow them on social media, you're going to get updates on all of the different projects that they're doing. And if this heat's been causing you problems with your air conditioner, AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning in Council Bluffs is that's the contact that you need, because when integrity matters, and when doesn't it, these are the guys you want to get a hold of. AirServeCouncilBluffs.com, WaldsteinPlumbing.com. Those are the websites. That's going to wrap up everything on this Monday. Thank you so much for being a part of things. More school updates coming up in the coming days, and we'll also have a lot of other interviews with area dignitaries, and also, we got a really cool interview coming up in a little bit with some bikers. Yeah. Have you heard of Bikers Against Child Abuse, BACA? Yeah, this is a wonderful organization, and an interview with them coming up later on this week. So we hope you keep your internet dialed in right where it's at. I almost said tuned in. That's the old media coming out in me. My name's Todd Studer. I hope you have a great Monday.